In the vast, dusty expanse of the Old West, where survival often meant facing hardship with a hardened heart, a simple act of kindness sparked a story that no one could have predicted. One evening, as the sun dipped low and the wind carried the scent of sagebrush, a dusty old man appeared at a quiet farmhouse, weary and hungry from the relentless trails. A woman, moved not by his appearance but by his humanity, offered him bread, a gesture so small, yet destined to set in motion a wave of gratitude and honor unlike anything the town had ever seen. This was no ordinary exchange, for beneath the dust and weariness, the old man carried a history that few knew, a story entwined with wealth, influence, and a legacy of power. The woman, unaware of the true weight of her kindness, saw only a fellow traveler in need. Her generosity was pure and unassuming, but it would soon ripple through the community in ways that defied expectation, revealing the profound impact one small deed can have when given from a heart. As night turned to dawn, the quiet farmhouse became the setting for a remarkable gathering. By sunrise, 300 women, adorned in flowing silk dresses and bearing gifts, stood solemnly at the woman's porch. They were not merely visitors, but emissaries of respect and gratitude, their presence a testament to the old man's hidden ties and the ripple effects of compassion that transcended social boundaries. Their arrival transformed the humble home into a sanctuary of honor and recognition. The story that unfolds is one of unexpected connections and the power of kindness to bridge worlds divided by class and circumstance. It challenges the rugged norms of the frontier, reminding us that beneath the dust and grit lie stories of generosity that can unite even the most disparate souls. This tale invites us to look deeper, to recognize that sometimes the smallest acts carry the greatest significance. Join me as we explore this extraordinary chapter of the Old West, a story where bread shared in kindness ignited a legacy of gratitude, and where 300 women in silk stood as living proof that compassion can transcend all barriers, changing lives and communities forever. The dusty old man's arrival was as unexpected as the setting sun, painting the western sky in hues of amber and crimson. His clothes were tattered, face weathered by countless journeys across unforgiving plains, yet there was a quiet dignity about him that few noticed at first glance. When he approached the woman's humble farmhouse, it was not with demands or complaints, but with the silent weight of a soul long burdened by hardship. She watched him carefully, not out of suspicion, but with a heart attuned to the struggles etched into his weary frame. Without hesitation, she offered him bread, simple, nourishing, and born of her own scarce provisions. It was an act so pure and genuine that it transcended the harshness of their surroundings. In a world where survival often overshadowed kindness, her gesture was a rare spark of humanity, a reminder that compassion can flourish even in the driest, dustiest corners of the frontier. As he accepted the bread, their eyes met, and an unspoken understanding passed between them, a silent acknowledgement of shared vulnerability and unspoken stories. Unbeknownst to her, the old man carried a legacy that reached far beyond the rugged trails and dusty towns of the West. His presence held secrets woven into the very fabric of wealth and power, secrets that would soon unfold and ripple through the lives of many. Yet, in this quiet moment, all that mattered was the simple act of giving, a bridge between two souls from vastly different worlds, connected by the timeless thread of kindness. The woman returned to her daily chores, unaware of the ripple she had set in motion. The night deepened, and stars began to twinkle in the vast sky, as if bearing witness to the invisible forces at play. Far beyond the horizon, preparations were quietly underway, journeys beginning that would bring a remarkable gathering to her doorstep by first light. This opening chapter introduces the themes of humility, unexpected connections, and the quiet power of generosity, setting the stage for a story where simple kindness leads to profound change. As the first light of dawn touched the horizon, the town awoke to a sight that stirred both wonder and curiosity. 300 women, clad in shimmering silk gowns that caught the morning sun like flowing rivers of light, arrived at the woman's doorstep. Their presence was a silent yet powerful tribute, a congregation of gratitude and respect for the humble act of kindness that had touched their lives. The women's faces were solemn, their eyes reflecting stories of hope and transformation sparked by the dusty old man's influence. The gathering was unlike anything the town had ever seen. It transcended social divides and expectations, bringing together women from all walks of life. Ranchers, teachers, shopkeepers, and travelers, united by a shared acknowledgement of the woman's quiet strength. Their arrival was not just a ceremony, but a declaration that kindness could bridge worlds, create alliances, and heal wounds invisible to the eye. The silk that draped them was a symbol of dignity and grace, contrasting sharply with the dust and hardship of their frontier lives. The old man, revealed now as a figure of significance and influence, had long been a benefactor to these women, supporting their families and communities in ways that were once hidden but now clearly visible. His gratitude for the woman's generosity had inspired this extraordinary show of respect, a recognition of the chain of giving that had quietly sustained the town through years of hardship. This moment of unity was a testament to the unseen networks of care and support that thrived even in the wildest of landscapes. As the sun rose higher, casting golden light over the gathered crowd, the woman's heart swelled with a mixture of awe and humility. She had never sought recognition, yet here was a celebration of the very spirit she had lived by, one of giving without expectation and serving others with an open heart. This gathering marked a turning point, a powerful reminder that no act of kindness is ever truly small or forgotten. This part deepens the narrative by introducing the community's response, highlighting themes of unity, respect, and the transformative power of generosity across social boundaries. The remarkable gathering of 300 women in silk was more than a tribute. It was a vivid symbol of the unseen connections that kindness can forge across even the harshest frontiers. These women, many of whom had faced their own struggles and losses, stood united not only in gratitude, but in recognition of the power that one humble act had unleashed. Their presence on the woman's porch was a declaration that compassion is a force capable of transcending class, circumstance, and history, binding disparate lives into a shared story of hope and resilience. Behind the graceful silk gowns and quiet dignity was a tapestry of individual stories. Mothers who had found food on the table during desperate times, daughters who had been given education because of the old man's generosity, and neighbors who discovered a new sense of community. Each woman carried a piece of the legacy that the woman's single act of kindness had set into motion, proving that generosity's true power lies not just in what is given, but in how it multiplies through the lives it touches. The woman herself, once a solitary figure in a rugged land, became the heart of this emerging community. Though she had never sought recognition or reward, her story became a beacon for others, inspiring countless acts of quiet generosity across the frontier. Her life was a reminder that the smallest gesture can carry the weight of countless blessings, and that a humble heart can spark revolutions of kindness that change entire towns and beyond. This chapter also sheds light on the deep well of resilience held by the frontier women, often overlooked in history. Their strength, dignity, and capacity for empathy forged bonds that defied the loneliness and hardship of frontier life. Together, they embodied the spirit of the Old West, not only as survivors, but as nurturers of hope and humanity. The gathering of those 300 women was a living testament to the idea that kindness, when shared without expectation, becomes a force that reshapes communities and leaves an indelible mark on history. While the town awoke to this extraordinary scene, the dusty old man's true identity and his role in the community began to surface. Though weathered by years on the road, he was a figure of deep respect and quiet influence, a benefactor whose generosity had touched far more lives than anyone realized. His support had been the unseen backbone of the town's survival, aiding not only individuals, but fostering institutions and opportunities that had transformed the frontier community. His gratitude toward the woman who had given him bread was profound. That single act of kindness had rekindled a hope in him that he had long thought lost, inspiring him to rally the women who now stood before her in such honor. The man's story intertwined with hers in a tapestry of shared humanity, proof that even in the wild, unforgiving West, grace and gratitude could flourish and inspire. The impact of their combined generosity rippled through the town, fostering a culture of mutual aid and respect. This was not a fleeting moment of thanks, but the birth of a tradition, one where selflessness and kindness became the cornerstones of the community's identity. It was a powerful reminder that even the most rugged and solitary places can be transformed by the simple, profound acts of giving and gratitude. As the sun climbed higher, illuminating the faces of those gathered, the town began to understand the full scope of what had been given and received. This was a moment of reckoning and celebration, where the invisible threads of sacrifice and kindness were finally woven into the visible fabric of community life. This chapter deepens the narrative by revealing hidden histories and showing how acts of compassion forge lasting legacies that transcend generations. The woman's humble home, once a quiet refuge, became a symbol of unity and hope. The 300 women who stood on her porch carried with them stories of gratitude and transformation, each touched by the generosity that began with a simple act of giving bread. Their silk dresses glimmered in the morning sun, but it was their hearts, woven together by shared experience and kindness, that truly shone. The gathering was not just a ceremony, but a celebration of how compassion could build bridges across divides, uniting a community that had once been fragmented by hardship and suspicion. This remarkable event sparked a profound shift in the town's spirit. Acts of kindness, once isolated and secretive, began to multiply, creating a culture where neighbors looked out for one another with renewed vigor. The woman's quiet generosity had ignited a fire, a reminder that true strength lay not in wealth or power, but in the willingness to give selflessly. The town, shaped by these invisible acts of love, slowly grew into a place where hope flourished amidst the dust and grit of the frontier. Among the women, a new sense of purpose blossomed. They became stewards of the legacy she left behind, dedicated to passing on the values of generosity and empathy to the next generation. Stories of the woman's kindness were told around campfires and in schoolhouses, inspiring young and old alike to believe in the power of small deeds to change lives. Her influence had become a guiding light, a testament to the enduring impact of compassion in even the harshest of environments. Yet, beyond the celebrations and stories, the woman's life remained a quiet testament to humility. She had given for 2 decades without seeking praise, never imagining that her actions would culminate in such a profound outpouring of respect. Her legacy was a powerful reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary gifts come from those who give without expectation, shaping communities not through grand gestures, but through steady, unseen devotion. This chapter explores how one person's humility and generosity can ignite a movement, transforming not only individual lives, but the heart of an entire community. As the seasons changed and the town thrived, the ripple effects of the woman's secret giving extended beyond its borders. Neighboring settlements heard the tale of the woman who gave silently for 20 years, and her story became a beacon of hope across the frontier. Travelers shared her story in hushed tones, inspiring others to look for ways to give without seeking recognition, to find strength and kindness amid adversity. The culture she had nurtured took root and flourished, creating a network of compassion that linked isolated communities together. People began to understand that true wealth was not counted in coins or cattle, but in the goodwill they fostered and the lives they touched. Her example taught the frontier that generosity was a powerful weapon against the loneliness and struggle that defined their world. In the heart of the town, a simple monument was raised, not of marble or gold, but of stone and wood, standing as a lasting tribute to the woman's quiet heroism. It became a place where people gathered to reflect on the values she embodied, a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of selfless giving. This humble memorial reminded all who visited that the greatest legacies are written not in history books, but in the hearts of those inspired by love. Her story continued to inspire acts of kindness, courage, and community long after her passing. It became a foundation for a new era in the Old West, where compassion was recognized as strength and generosity as a legacy worth preserving. The woman who had once given bread to a dusty old man had transformed an entire region, proving that even the smallest acts can carry the greatest power. This part highlights the enduring influence of her life and legacy, showing how selfless generosity can shape culture, inspire change, and create lasting bonds beyond a single lifetime. The impact of the woman's secret generosity reached far beyond the borders of her town, inspiring a network of compassion that spread across the frontier. Travelers and settlers carried her story like a whispered legend, a beacon of hope in a world often marked by hardship and solitude. Her quiet acts of kindness showed that even in the harshest environments, the human spirit could flourish when nurtured by empathy and generosity. This ripple effect created communities united not by wealth or power, but by a shared commitment to uplift one another. Among those who heard her tale were women who had faced their own battles, loss, poverty, and isolation, and who found strength in her example. They began to mirror her spirit, extending help to neighbors and strangers alike, sewing a fabric of care that defied the rugged landscape's challenges. These acts, though small, became the foundation for a culture of mutual support, transforming the frontier from a place of mere survival into a thriving community grounded in kindness. The woman's story also challenged the stereotypes of the Old West. It revealed that behind the rugged exterior of frontier life were deep wells of courage and compassion, often embodied in the women who bore the brunt of hardship. Her life became a symbol of resilience, showing that heroism often comes in quiet, steady forms rather than loud, dramatic ones. She was a reminder that strength is measured not by the gun one carries, but by the generosity one offers. As years passed, her legacy was taught to children as a vital part of the town's history, inspiring new generations to carry forward the values she championed. School lessons and community gatherings ensured that her story was never forgotten, becoming a living testament to the transformative power of selfless giving. Her influence continued to shape the town's character, making kindness and empathy hallmarks of its identity. This chapter illustrates how one life's quiet courage can resonate through time, inspiring collective change and nurturing a culture of generosity that endures beyond any single lifetime. The annual gathering held in the woman's honor became one of the most anticipated events in the town's calendar. Women and men from across the region would travel for miles, dressed in their finest silks and attire, coming together to celebrate the spirit of giving that had redefined their community. The event was more than a memorial. It was a renewal of the bonds forged by compassion and a collective vow to continue the legacy of kindness that the woman had so profoundly embodied. During these gatherings, stories of generosity and courage were shared, highlighting ordinary people performing extraordinary acts in the spirit of their secret benefactor. The atmosphere was filled with gratitude, joy, and a profound sense of unity, as the town embraced the values that had transformed it from a harsh frontier settlement into a place of hope and resilience. This tradition strengthened the community's fabric, ensuring that the lessons of compassion and humility were passed down through the generations. The monument dedicated to the woman stood proudly in the town square, not as a symbol of wealth or status, but as a testament to the power of selfless giving. It became a place for reflection and inspiration, where people came to remember that true greatness comes from serving others without expectation. The monument's simple inscription reminded all who visited that kindness is the truest form of legacy, one that shapes lives and communities in profound ways. Beyond the town, the woman's story continued to influence a wider audience, inspiring acts of charity and solidarity in neighboring settlements. Her life became a beacon for anyone who believed in the power of compassion to change the world, proving that even the quietest deeds can echo through history with lasting impact. Her legacy is a call to action, to recognize our ability to make a difference, no matter how small the gesture. This part highlights the celebration and continuation of her legacy, emphasizing how traditions of generosity create lasting cultural change and inspire future generations to live with empathy and courage. As the years rolled on, the woman's story became more than just a chapter in the town's history. It grew into a cornerstone of its identity. Her secret acts of generosity inspired countless others to embrace a life of giving, transforming a once harsh frontier community into a place where kindness and support flourished. Her legacy was not merely remembered. It was lived daily in the compassion shown between neighbors, in the hands extended to strangers, and in the hope that bloomed even in difficult times. The ripple effect of her selfless giving extended beyond the immediate community. Travelers who passed through carried her tale to distant settlements, spreading the message that even the smallest acts of kindness can create waves of change. In a world where survival often meant isolation and suspicion, her story became a beacon, encouraging others to build networks of care and to recognize the strength found in unity and generosity. It was a reminder that humanity thrives not in isolation, but through shared support. Within the town, her influence helped reshape social bonds and fostered a culture that valued empathy as a form of resilience. The once fragmented and struggling community found itself knit together by the very spirit she had exemplified, a spirit of quiet strength and enduring love. Her legacy was a living force, constantly renewing itself as each new generation learned from her example and sought to continue her work. This chapter reflects on the profound cultural transformation sparked by one woman's humility and kindness, showing how legacies are built through countless small acts that together change lives and communities over time. It invites us to consider the impact we can have by embracing generosity in our own lives. In the twilight years of the Old West, as new challenges and opportunities arose, the woman's story remained a guiding light, a symbol of hope, courage, and the power of quiet generosity. Her life proved that true wealth and greatness are measured not by possessions or power, but by the love and compassion we extend to others. The town she helped nurture stood as a testament to what can happen when kindness becomes the foundation of a community. A simple monument, crafted from local stone and timber, stands at the town's center, honoring the woman whose silent gifts changed so many lives. It serves as a reminder that heroes do not always wear medals or carry guns. Sometimes, they live quietly among us, shaping the world through unseen acts of love. Visitors to the town pause there, reflecting on the enduring legacy of a life lived in service to others. Her story transcends time and place, inspiring anyone who hears it to recognize their own capacity for kindness and courage. It encourages us to believe that no matter how harsh the world may seem, our smallest gestures can echo through history, creating legacies of hope and humanity. The woman who gave bread to a dusty old man reminds us all that compassion is the greatest gift we can offer. As we close this chapter, we are left with a profound message, that the true measure of a life is not in what we take, but in what we give, often in silence and without expectation. It is an invitation to live with open hearts, to be the unseen hands that support, heal, and inspire change. This final chapter offers a powerful reflection on legacy, generosity, and the quiet courage that shapes history, a fitting close to a story that will resonate long after the dust has settled. As we reflect on the journey of a woman whose quiet generosity transformed an entire town, we are reminded that true greatness often lies in the unseen acts of kindness that ripple through communities and across generations. Her story teaches us that a single gesture, given without expectation, can spark a legacy far greater than any monument or accolade. It is a timeless reminder that compassion is one of the most powerful forces to heal, unite, and inspire. In the rugged landscape of the Old West, where survival demanded toughness, her life stood as a beacon of hope and humanity, a testament to the strength found not in power or wealth, but in the courage to give selflessly. Her legacy challenges us to look beyond the noise and to recognize that the quiet heroes among us shape the world through their steady, heartfelt actions. It is in these silent moments that true change begins. This story invites each of us to consider our own capacity for kindness. What small acts of generosity could we offer today that might ignite hope, mend wounds, or bring communities closer? The woman's journey shows us that the impact of giving is not measured by grandeur, but by the lives touched and the love shared. It is an enduring call to embody empathy in our daily lives, knowing that every seed of kindness has the potential to grow into a powerful force for good. If this story touched your heart or inspired you to reflect on the power of generosity, I invite you to become part of this community. Subscribe to the channel for more moving stories that celebrate the human spirit. Like this video if it moved you, and share your thoughts below. Your voice helps keep these stories alive and spreads the message that kindness can change the world. Together, we can honor the legacy of quiet heroes and inspire a new generation to give without expectation, love without limits, and act with courage. Remember, every small act of kindness carries the power to transform lives, and sometimes, even history itself.